Hello everyone, and welcome back to NieR Replicant. I got it right this time. Anyways, I have been doing some stuff on the side, not a lot of stuff. Literally I was just fishing. So I wanted to get some of that out of the way, just so that we could do a couple side quests, get those out of the way before we head to the Forest of Myth.
Check it out. I think I'm getting the hang of this.
Well, dip my oar and call me Cecil. Looks like the fisher boy has become a fisherman. But do you think you can push me off of my spot? Come on, let's go.
I'm pretty sure they end up wrestling.
And I'm just using my left hand.
I think we've moved beyond fishing at this point.
Alright, so our fishing skill has improved. Let's talk to him again.
I got something special for you this time. Go out there and catch me 2 blue marlin.
How is that special?
Only ever caught one once myself. Bring me those fish, and I'll call ya master fisherman for true.
Well, joke's on you because I've already caught them.
These the fish you wanted?
Well, I'll be. Never thought I'd see the day. Well done, master fisherman. Seems I've but one technique left to teach you. Well, I taught you everything I know, but that don't mean you can stop learning. It's a big world out there, with fish the likes of which no man has ever seen.
Alright, so my fishing skill has now improved, and we can talk to him again.
You know, I reckon you might just have what it takes to catch the fish, the Hyneria.
The Hyneria?
No man has ever hooked a Hyneria and lived to tell the tale. If you can do it, then you're a fisherman beyond even my own skill.
Okay, so I do not have a Hyneria. Hynerias can only be caught in the desert. They're essentially the same type of fish as the legendary fish, which is the Rhizodont. I only have 3 more fish to catch in total. The Dunkleosteus, the Hyneria, and the Rhizodont. Those are the only 3 fish I need, and then my entire fishing log has been completed. So yeah, I will do that, of course, in my own time. I'm not going to make you guys sit there and watch me fish.
You know, anyway.
But I am going to go to the desert because I want to go to the Strange Things store. I want to see about getting those parts for the windmill, because I don't think we've gotten them yet. So... But yeah, I just spent last night fishing, mostly just because it's a good source of income. Like, if you get to the point where you're catching blue marlins and sharks and stuff, then you can sell them for like a pretty penny.
Can you eat scorpions?
Indeed you can. Long ago, people operated food stands where they impaled the creatures on skewers and fried them whole.
Where did you learn that?
Who can say? I do not know. Some portions of the past are inexplicably clear in my memory.
Whatever, Gramps.
What was that hussy?
Yeah, so the thing is like, the past is really crazy when you think about it, because what Vice is essentially talking about is stuff that's currently, like, happening in our modern world, but to them, it's the past. And essentially, their past was ruined by whatever event, you know, happened. Well, I like hunting the scorpions, but at the same time, they're so frustrating. I think they're almost easier to hunt when you're, like, kid NieR. But, you know, maybe I'm just imagining that. So, someone left me a comment the other day on video 15, which is the last video I made just recently. Essentially just talking about how they never made it to the adult NieR section. And that's really unfortunate. I think that seems to happen a lot. I think a lot of people become very bored or burnt out with the young NieR section and kind of see that as maybe being the whole game. I could definitely see the non-appeal of playing as this, you know, child that's really naive. But the thing is like all good things in this series come with time. You gotta think about if you ever played Automata, think about how underwhelming the first ending was. I mean, crap, I played it myself, you know, and I was just like, this is insane. And what's even more crazy is there are people that never get past that first ending. They're just like, okay, I beat the game, I saw the credits, there you go. Nah, like, you're not even scratching the surface. And it's the same here. So, it is the same thing going forward with Replicant. If you're not getting into the adult sections, then you're not even touching the game. Obviously, the better battle mechanics, the better quests, the more serious undertones, as well as lore implications, all of that is going to come from the adult sections. So, you know, it is a game you have to be patient with. And then it just depends on what you want to accomplish, because you don't have to do every side quest. You really don't. I just choose to do it just because I like the stories that it tells. It really, like, fleshes out the world. But you don't have to do every side quest. You can literally rush through this game and not really give it a second thought. I mean, especially if you're just gonna do the first ending. Which, the first ending is okay, but you're not really getting much out of it, if you're just doing the first ending. That one random brick has always bugged me. She's like, this city's 3 seconds away from imploding.
Hi there. Do you carry axles and paddle boards?
I'm afraid I'm out of stock, but I could make them if you bring me iron ore and logs.
Oh, great. So, how much do you need?
I think 10 each should suffice.
Gotcha.
Water wheels are great, but they're a pain in the butt to maintain.
In the past, humans harnessed different methods to provide energy.
Like what?
One such method was achieved through the intricate compounding of iron and fire.
Wow. What did they do with that?
Oh, a great many things. It could be used to power large iron crates called trains, or illuminate whole cities against the dark of night.
Oh. Yeah, no thanks.
Why not?
Who wants to move a big iron crate? And how am I supposed to sleep if it's all bright outside?
Well, I suppose if you wish to look at it that way.
Besides, my life is lots of fun already.
If more people were like you, Emil, this world might not be half bad.
Aw, I love Emil. But it does offer a really, like, interesting viewpoint whenever you think about it. So, obviously, the way that we live currently in modern times, everything really is a manner of convenience. You know, right now it's nighttime, and instead of sitting here by candlelight, I'm playing a, you know, computer game, and my lights are all on, and, you know, like, if I want to go outside, I've got a porch light, and, you know, it's just, there's all manner of things, you know? But way back in the day, it was like, if it was nighttime, you went to bed, because there wasn't much you could do at night, unless you had, like, a candle, or, you know, wanted to venture out with, like, a lantern, or something like that. People kind of lived, they obviously lived more naturally, because they just didn't have the means to do all this exotic stuff. Not a terrible thing, you know, but it's something that we would consider primitive. But, I mean, when you think about it in certain ways, it was better for the environment, and honestly, it was probably better for people. Once we kind of created the means to be able to work at night, you know, then, you know, that's when night shifts started. You know, they started having 24/7 facilities, they started, you know, doing all this stuff, and really just humans nowadays are so overworked. And a lot of that comes down to the fact that there's no reason to stop working when it gets dark outside. That's some of it, and the rest of it is obviously there are facilities that need 24/7 care and watch and all this other stuff. But nowadays, even places that don't need to be 24/7 operate, you know, pretty late. When I worked for Amazon, I did overnights. And the thing is Amazon doesn't technically have to operate overnight, alright? Amazon doesn't provide any emergency service. It's a service of convenience. Does it offer people jobs? Yes. Is working night shift all the time good for you? No. And Emil kind of has the point. Like, how are people supposed to sleep if everything's bright outside all the time? To him, it's just this crazy concept he can't even fathom. But nowadays, you go out driving at night and the city's still pretty illuminated and no one really thinks twice about it. And if something's too bright, then we have a solution for that too. We have blackout curtains. You know, it's like we create a problem and then we create a solution for the problem that we've created. So, that's kind of just how humans operate. But it's refreshing and nice to see, you know, a creature or a person like Emil that just kind of lives within his means and is happy with that. And I think, not that it's like super philosophical or anything, you know, it's probably me just overthinking it, but, you know, it's food for thought. It's absolutely food for thought. You know, would people be happier if they went back to simpler times? Would people be more appreciative if we just went back to simplicity? You know, would people be more grateful? And I think that's one thing I love about the NieR series, is that so much of the issues that they kind of bring up, like I said, it's more of a question. It's more of a, would we be happier if, or would things be better if? And I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Alright, so we need 10 logs, 10 ores, or blah 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 blah. Contract for contractor, creaky water wheel. So we need 9 logs. We can buy logs in Seafront, actually. So we'll do that, and then, but not before we do. Well, no, I should go to Seafront first. I should. I am going to try and use the fast travel, just a lot more, because I know that you guys don't want to see me fight the same type of enemy like 80,000 times, and I get that, trust me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy the logs, then I'm going to take the long way back, maybe? No, I'll fast travel. We're gonna do the quest for the children here. Well, we'll do Creaky Water Wheel, and then once we do Creaky Water Wheel, then we'll do Quest for Children. We'll worry about the treasure map here in a little bit. I'm not too worried about it right now, and we don't have half the materials for the lighthouse yet, so... I just said I was gonna fast travel, and then I didn't fast travel. I'm stupid. But you know what? Maybe we'll find some logs. We need to test out our, that's just little guys. We need to test out our, there we go. Our combat anyways. Owie. That one had hands. Yeah, the little ones don't do near as much damage. I don't really think I did any leveling up, since I was just fishing. I might have leveled up, like, once, but I don't think I did. I might just be imagining things, because all I was doing was kind of wandering around there for a minute. But yeah, I honestly had already caught most of the fish already. But there are 2 achievements. There's one called All Around the Pond. But yeah, there's one called All Around the Pond, and it's for catching all the fish. And then there's one for catching the legendary fish, which is the Rhizodont. So there's not an achievement for the Fisherman's Gambit, since the Fisherman's Gambit doesn't make you catch all the fish. So if you're gonna do that, that's all gonna be something you're gonna do on your own accord, really. I blocked, and yet it did not let me block. That's the only thing with these big guys. Eventually they get easier, but their rolling attack is so brutal. Like, sometimes you can, like, block against them. Most of the time you can't. It's just very frustrating for no reason. But then once you level up, they're easy peasy. Also, once we do the first ending, I'm pretty sure once we get ending A, that's when we can do the, That's when we can do the DLC content. But I think you have to be like level 30 in order to do that. So. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you have to be level 30. Oh, now I leveled up. Whoopee. But yeah, you have to be a higher level to do the DLC content. But here's the thing, I'll be doing so much grinding and ending A that we won't really have to worry about it anyways. Ah. Coloring book. Outside of their rolling attack, these guys aren't really like super dangerous. It's just breaking through their dang armor. That's really the biggest issue I have with them. But yeah, I was actually thinking about something the other day. Oh gosh. It has to do with the Forest of Myth. So there's a story that the Forest of Myth will tell us. And I'm pretty sure that links to reincarnation as well. And I think after I did the last episode, I was like, man, I wonder if there's anything else that links to, you know, reincarnation or whatever. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, oh my gosh, like, I seriously think that there are more sections that have to do with reincarnation. I thought they had logs.
If you need...
Well, I thought you had logs. If you can't catch fish, blah 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 blah. I thought she had logs. Alright, well I lied about the logs. So logs are probably bought back at the village. They would have to be, because you have to buy them somewhere. Unless they're sold at freaking Facade. But I don't think logs are bought at Facade because there's no trees.
Anyway.
I don't care about your life. Don't get me wrong, I love Red Bag Guy. He's one of those characters that you do adore in their own weird way. But I don't care enough about him right now to hear him talk every single time. Alright, Material Guy, what do you got?
Thanks for...
Yep. Bye. Log. Give me 10. And now, buy my stuff. Mostly my fish, now that I know I don't need certain fish anymore. You can buy a royal fish. Yeah, see, that sells for 4,000. You can buy a marlin. You can buy 2 bream. You could buy 7 blowfish. 5 carp. I need the sardines though. So.
Things
sure are tough lately, even though you gave me a bunch of money. Alright, let's see about this kid.
Some kids like to play in the northern forest. We're not supposed to know, but everybody does. Man, I wish I could go there.
Okay, so that kid... So if you don't remember the quest, essentially one of the kids has fallen ill, and we're trying to figure out what happened.
I heard there's a scary curse on all the forests in the world. And the bigger the forest, the scarier the curse.
Okay. That's Devila. I'm not gonna go there yet. So there's one more kid to talk to, which is up here. And then I think there's a guard we can talk to as well. Child, I need to know what happened to your friend.
The forest totally cursed him. That's why he's sick. Everyone told him not to play in there, but he did anyway.
It appears something happened to the child when he entered the northern woods. I believe that area is more commonly known as the Forest of Myth.
You think there's actually a forest curse?
I will withhold judgment on such things. For now, we should visit the place and see for ourselves.
All right, to the Forest of Myth then. Okay, so now we are going to the Forest of Myth.
There is a guard up here that I think we could talk to. He was just walking around. Because we don't have the materials for this, so...
I need one memory.
Yeah, I know. You need a lot of stuff for your kitchen. What do you want?
Help! Help! Oh gods, please help me!
What's wrong?
There's this huge shade near the bridge in the northern plains. The damn thing nearly killed my wife and daughter.
Oh, well, yeah. We'll take it on.
I'm on it.
It appears and disappears like the wind. You could go days in the northern plains without seeing it. And then, all of a sudden...
It's fine. We got it. And like I said, I'll worry about the treasure map one later. I'm pretty sure it leads us to a place out in the desert. So... So now we're heading to the Forest of Myth. Yeah, normally on a day like this, in, you know, obviously pre-adult era of NieR, this would just be full of sheep. But if you've noticed, there are no sheep. And that's why, like, you can't really sell mutton, really, after a certain point. And there's certain dishes you can't create because, after a certain point, there's certain animals that are not available. So there are quests, like I said before, there are quests you can miss in the child era, in the child section, if you're not paying attention. So it's definitely one of those things where it's like, if you want to complete every single side quest, don't put it off until the second half of the game. Like, literally do them as soon as you can. Okay. More little ones. Stop shooting him so far away, Emil. Just let me murder him. Alright, so this dude says that the shade we're looking for is on the bridge and disappears like the wind. Obviously it's not here right now, which means that we're looking for a very certain weather condition. Most likely what we're looking for is a foggy day, since he likes to disappear. Sometimes the stuff that the villagers will say will give you hints of what you're really looking for. But even if you don't know what you're looking for, literally just come back. Like, go back into a town, come back outside, you know, eventually the weather will change or something will change, and then your enemy will show up. It's not hard, you know, it is more of a patience thing, but this whole game is patience, so I wouldn't worry about it too much, really. Like I said, if you see any items, you'll want to pick them up, probably. But... And now we can kill boars, no problem. So, I mean, if you ever want boar meat... I try not to piss off the boar, just because it's honestly just a force of habit at this point, because those boars are not nice. Music skip, that was weird. I will say, I haven't had any issues lately with my game, like, slowing down, though. I don't know why, for a while, I was having those sudden frame drops. I don't know what was going on, if there was something going on with my PC, or if there was something with NVIDIA, or maybe it's just the PC port of this game. Because when I originally played this game, I played it on Xbox. So, I was playing it on my Xbox One, and I never had that issue, so... Don't know what was happening, but so far it hasn't happened yet. I do need to start going back to the Airy, though, to get chicken eggs. I mean, no, not chicken eggs, eagle eggs. To farm for eagle eggs. Which, gosh, I hate it so much. But I at least want to get 10 or 20 of them. And I know I can get them from the DLC, so it's not, like, imperative, but the sooner that I can have them, the better. Like, honestly. So, there's just gonna be, like, a couple days where I'm just gonna have to, like, grind for materials. And I know it's coming, I just... Ugh, I don't want to do it. Okay. Into the forest of myth we go. There's probably some quests in here too. I love that gateway so much.
The home of that blasted dream.
Yeah.
Truly a nightmare I hope never to experience again.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Okay, so nothing here, nothing here. I don't want to talk to the mayor because I feel like he's gonna initiate us into the main quest. But at the same time, I don't know.
Everything seems normal here.
We appear to have hit a dead end. Say, what is that on the ground?
Just some funny-looking berries.
There we go.
Ah, poisonous ones, I'd wager.
Well, I'm sure not gonna eat them and find out.
Okay. And then we leave, and there's Kaine. Hey, Kaine.
You guys solved the mystery yet?
No, we got nothing.
Too bad. Hey, what's with those berries?
What, these? We picked them up over by that huge tree. I thought maybe...
Gimme. I'm starving.
Are you mad? Those berries are clearly poisonous. Even one such as you can't hope to...
Damn, these are delicious. Give me more.
Well, in that case, I suppose I should try one.
Kaine just built different.
I think Vice was right about those berries. Feels like somebody stabbed me in the gut.
Hey, what's wrong? Oh no, don't tell me you ate one of those berries. For the love of trees, those things are deadly. Quick, take this antidote before you perish.
Thank you.
Thought I was a goner there.
You an idiot? Didn't you see the lumps? The unusual colors? Only a child would attempt to eat something like that.
A child? Oh, crap. I bet that kid ate one of these berries.
Yes, quite possibly. And if the poison is this painful for you, I can only imagine what it would do to a small child.
Hey, Kaine, did you take the antidote?
Don't need it. God, those berries were amazing.
The truly amazing thing is that your stomach is fouler than your taste in clothing.
If you had genitals, I would so chop them off right now.
Damn. Alright, so we have the antidote. I love Kaine.
Ugh, this poison sucks. Still can't feel my arms and legs.
I feel great.
You must have a cast iron stomach, Kaine.
The hussy's internal organs are as filthy as her mouth.
Why do you have to be such a shithead all the time, Book?
I love them. I love their interactions so much. The thing is like, I'm not sure who I like the interactions of more, but I definitely think Kaine's interactions with Vice are some of my all-time favorites. Because you can tell it's such a love-hate relationship. Like, their hatred towards each other goes beyond just like a hatred. It's awe and admiration, but it's just cloaked in hatred and disgust. And I adore it entirely. I don't know. I like people that are able to just shit-talk each other all the time, but then if you try and go after one of the two people, they'll literally, about the other one, they'll literally fight you to the death because you find out they're actually friends. They literally, like, shit-talking each other is their love language. And I love that. I had friends like that, in my early 20s. And, like, that's just how we were. Like, we would just sit there and shit-talk each other and badmouth each other, and just, like, give each other hell all the time. But we were there for each other, like, no matter what. And it was, people would probably say it was a weird, like, absolutely bonkers Whoa!
Never seen a shade this large around here.
Be careful. This is a formidable foe.
But yeah, like, people probably thought we were absolutely insane. But at the same time, like, that's how we were. Okay, so for this foe, obviously, main draw here, break armor. Like, that's gonna be the hardest part. Outside of the fact that all of these guys are spellcasters. They're the guys that, punch. So if we can get rid of these guys, then we're doing something right. Yeah, spellcasters make it really hard. There we go. Recovery potion, which is a rare one. These guys drop a really good item that we need. The only problem is that they don't drop it very often, and they're more likely to drop the recovery potion than they are the item that we need. So, there we go. Like I said before, magic is your best friend against, there we go, broken earrings, one of them. Magic is your best friend against armor. It's the best way to freaking... There we go. But yeah, it is the best way against freaking breaking stuff. So it's like we already broke off a lot of his like armor, even though it doesn't look like it. You definitely want to like focus on certain areas. This is the same shade from Seafront. It's just in armor now. So his attacks are all the same. The only problem is with him is that when you're trying to dodge, if you're in the middle of an animation, then it's really hard to obviously block. And the more armor you break, the more damage he takes. And we can literally just finish him off with magic. There we go. A shortcut. And we got a complex machine from it. Obtain the one-handed sword, Labyrinth's Whisper.
Stupid trash getting in our way.
It's hard to imagine a shade being here. It's almost like it was waiting for us. It can't be that intelligent.
Oh, really now? Can you truly say so with all confidence? The tactics of the Shades grow more intricate with each passing year. It would not surprise me to see them setting elaborate traps for us before long.
We'd better wipe them out before they get too smart.
In any case, we won't be able to live in peace until we take out the Shadow Lord.
I mean, he does control the Shades, so... But yeah, so the entire time you're essentially being just set up for this narrative of destroy the Shadow Lord, because Shadow Lord, you know, equals shades, no Shadow Lord equals no shades. So... that's essentially what it's getting at, anyways. Alright. So we'll have completed 4 quests, and then we can go do the paddleboard, and then we can get the wheel fixed, and then I guess we could probably do Forest of Myth as well. Alright, hey.
We killed the shade at the bridge.
My daughter is dead. She passed while you were gone.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Here, take this money. I won't be needing it anymore. Why have the gods cursed us?
I don't like the implications of what he says. Definitely. Obviously he implies that he doesn't need that money because maybe he's about to do something drastic. Like I said, I don't like the implication of it. It's just no bueno, but, you know, I can't even imagine being in that position myself. Alright, here, ma'am, here's the antidote.
Ma'am, I think your child ate a poison berry. If you give him this antidote, he should recover.
Oh, thank you. I'll have him take it right away.
Glad to hear it.
And perhaps remind him not to eat foodstuffs he finds on the ground.
We got 10,000.
You saved his life. From now on, I'm giving you a discount. Come again anytime, okay?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and save, and then we are gonna go to the Forest of Myth. And I guess we'll just do that section, get it out of the way, since really there's nothing else that we need to do in the Forest of Myth that I could think of. So... definitely the Forest of Myth. I don't know, it's one of those sections that I feel like artistically it's amazing because it's so different from the rest of the game, considering the fact that it's all considering its style and the fact that it's all red, you know, it's all stuff that you read. Yeah, considering its storybook kind of like fairy tale format, I think the Forest of Myth is fascinating. Outside of that, though, for, like, content's sake, like, I guess, like, I really wish it would expand. So, like, one of the things that comes to mind is, like, Drakengard 3 and, like, the Fairy Forest. And just, like, in general with Drakengard and high fantasy games, there's always some mythical forest somewhere, you know? And, you know, like I said, the area itself is so underutilized because it's not really that big. And yet it's considered this, you know, forest community or whatever. Yeah, I forgot how easy that guy is to take out. But, you know, it's considered this massive forest community or whatever. And it's only like 4 houses. 4 houses and a mayor. Again, it really doesn't help to pull away from people's idea that this map is way too small. When you think about the various areas, like the Junk Heap, right? The Junk Heap is really small, until you get into the factory. And then the factory is what expands it. Same as, like, Emil's mansion, right? You don't see that section very often. But it has this whole, like, underground level, which is this laboratory, and that expands on the area. Forest of Myth doesn't have anything like that. It doesn't have anything that expands on the area. And then you obviously have the transitional, like, areas, like the Eastern Road, or the desert leading into Facade. Like, you know, there are areas that kind of fill the gaps between the towns, but yeah, ultimately this is a very, 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 very small map. And I think that's what really, like, bugs people, because they expect something so much bigger. And again, I think it kind of comes down to people being spoiled by games. Back when this game, like, came out, it wasn't really the size of the game, per se, but the content. And this game has amazing content. Great story, great sound, you know, fun quests, fun combat, fun weapons. Like, this game offers a lot if you're looking for, you know, content. But what it doesn't offer is a huge map, and people kind of get tired of seeing the same areas. Again, I can't say I blame them. I understand the frustration, especially with areas like Forest of Myth, which I think are highly underutilized. But, you know, what are you gonna do? The rest of the game's still peak, like, still absolutely golden, you know? Like, even the enemy types, like, especially for the bosses, are varied. It's not, you know, you obviously have big shades, little shades, but every shape of shade does something different. Because someone once complained, I think, on a forum about the fact that you're just fighting shades. And I'm like, but every shade does something different. I can look at a shade and be like, okay, this one does A, B, C, D, E, this one does A, B, C, D, E. I have to watch out for this attack from this one because this reason, like... I don't know. Whoa. I knew that was coming because I could hear it, but I couldn't stop it. But you know, it is what it is. Might as well get some new words. You know what's crazy is I think, like, even after all the time I've played Replicant, I don't think I completed 50% of the library, just because, like, I think to get a new word, it requires that you kill a certain type of enemy a certain amount of times to generate the word that you're supposed to get. But I've never really looked that deep into it, and so yeah, I think I'm missing out a little bit on some of that. I don't know, because I've been thinking about, like, what achievements I want to go for. I've already grown the lunar tier, so that's like one of the hardest ones down, right? And then I plan on catching the legendary fish, so that's another one down. But then, like, what other achievements do I want other than getting, you know, all the endings? Been kind of thinking about that off and on. You know, what do I want to accomplish in my free time? I don't remember this quest being really long. I hope it's not really long. Okay. What's up?
Oh, hello. How are things? You want to know if anything unusual is happening? Well, I have been feeling a rather strange presence whenever I visit the Divine Tree.
The Divine Tree?
It's a legendary tree that exists in the heart of our village.
Did you investigate the cause of this presence?
Not really, no.
And why not?
Well, we're not really supposed to go near the tree, except for prayer.
And why is that?
I don't know. It's just how things have always been.
Weird.
I mean, yeah. But these people also did kind of fall into a dream coma, so maybe when they feel that something's weird, maybe they don't want to mess with it, you think? Maybe, possibly, kinda, sorta? I mean, I don't think I'd want to mess with it, but... Is there anything in here? No? Yes? No? Okay.
Why do we seem to encounter nothing but odd people lately?
It's not a people.
You should talk, Vice.
As if Grimoire Weiss is capable of spouting such nonsense.
Hang on. I don't think it's done.
The dark entity that governs all memories.
Does that mean it'll tell us what we want to know? That'd be nice.
Okay, so there is another thing that kind of, I guess, I might link. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. But the Divine Tree is something special. I won't ruin it for you. I'll probably talk more about it in ending E. So, black, pure darkness, painted over everything. Words, scattered here and there across the blackness. Kind words, difficult words, amorous words, all sparkling in the dark like jewels. The words were few now, but time was shorter. Grabbing the words in desperation, the tree turned to the sky. "This is wrong," whispered the tree, in the voice of wind through the leaves. "This is not how it was supposed to be. The plan has failed." Once long ago, the tree had remembered everything about the world. This was its task, its function, its purpose. It shivered with something approaching joy as it collected the memories of mankind. This was no accident. Emotions were as much a part of the tree as root and bark. Memories collected like dew on the thick green leaves of the tree. And once they had formed a web that spanned the entire world. Words collapsed into sunlight before passing through the leaves and into the pool of memory. From the pool, the words joined together to form colonies. The colonies united into whirlpools of light, and the light coalesced into stars. Each star was like a child of the tree, and it loved them all. Look at my memory. A child is here, brought low by disease. He's far too young to have suffered so. Thin beyond words, the boy's skin is a shade paler than the bleached sheets upon which he lies. His parents no longer visit him, for they cannot bear to watch him suffer. The doctors have long since surrendered his fate to the gods. The boy, too, has abandoned hope. Strange emotions, weariness, hatred swell within the dark recesses of his young heart. He tries to reject the black terror that germinates in his body, but no amount of effort or tears can drive the invader away. He has long ceased to resent his parents and doctors. Once he did, but now his pain is so great that there's little room in his heart to think of others. Only one person brings the boy comfort, a healthy young girl with tan skin and deep blue eyes. She's a beacon of brightness and light in the boy's world. Her very presence is a comfort to him. But he is unable to look upon her face. Whenever they meet, the boy is filled with loathing for his own state. Soon, this loathing eats away at what joy he receives from the girl's visits. The girl will stop coming, he knows this. His every waking moment is spent in fear of this day. He thinks that if he could talk to her, if he could tell her of his feelings, this might not be so. But this conversation never happens. The girl disappears. The boy dies alone. The tree scoops up his memory and carefully stores it within itself. Etched upon it is a single word: envy. Look at my memory. There's a female warrior. Her greatest enemy is a beast with red eyes that she cannot fully comprehend. When she strikes it with her sword, it turns into a pillar of salt and dies. But when the white smoke clears, a new enemy rises. And another, and another. The warrior knows that her struggle is folly, but fighting the unending stream of enemy fills her with a sense of joy and purpose. Somewhere deep in the warrior's drug-addled mind lies a vague memory of a daughter. Perhaps the child exists only in her head, the dying remnants of a powerful dream. She does not know. Her friends and fellow warriors come and go. Some flee in terror, some are eaten. She began the fight with 33 companions, but most are gone now. The warrior's body shudders. She does not understand why at first. By the time she hears the fierce, low sound, the arena is already enclosed in darkness. Looking up, the warrior sees a beast so large that it blots out the sky. She is laughing. She's been doing so for as long as she can remember. Covered in blood and dirt, the warrior laughs. She laughs and laughs until the town that contains her laughter, or that contains her daughter, collapses into a pile of dust. This memory has been stored for a long time. It is etched with a single word: loss. Look at my memory. A red dragon falls from the heavens. Ah, that memory's been lost. A shame. It was a favorite of mine. After many centuries of existence, the tree saw that its carefully labeled memories were beginning to dwindle. Once seemingly infinite, the memories now seemed ready to disappear forever. The tree did not feel sadness at this. Grief was an emotion beyond its comprehension. It did, however, have the distinct feeling that something was missing. The mountain of memories it had so carefully assembled had disappeared. The tree stretched its branches as far as it could, but new memories refused to flow. The pool of memories was a black, empty pit, a hollow place where life had once flourished. The tree had lost its purpose. There was nothing to be done but sift through the few remaining memories littering the ground under its branches. This is why the tree was pleased when the young man and his companion entered the room. NieR: well, this place is gloomy as hell. The room NieR had entered was almost completely empty. All he could see were a few crystals scattered haphazardly on the ground. Picking up one of the crystals and peering into it, NieR suddenly saw a familiar sight. It was the Forest of Myth, its villagers prisoners of their own dreams. I apologize, the tree thought. That is all that remains. As NieR stared at the jewel, bewildered, a voice suddenly called out from the depths of his mind. The voice implored them to listen. It was an order. Following it was mandatory. Abruptly, the pair realized that they must listen. They must listen. Weiss, look there. A small shadowy presence appeared from beneath the floor. It appeared to be a shade. The shade grasped several jewels in its hand. More jewels tumbled out of its mouth like shards of broken teeth, sights and sounds tinkling from each one before vanishing forever. The creature was abusing the memories, treating the precious objects like a collection of cheap playroom toys. Weiss, this shade appears to be consuming the memories. NieR, these things eat memories? The tree extended a branch towards NieR. Without a second thought, NieR brought his blade down on the shade, tearing its stomach wide. Jewels burst from the shade and poured across the chamber floor. Look, thought the tree, there is the conviction memory I had lost, and satisfaction, and many others as well. Yes, this is good. The tree opened its mouth and attempted to speak, but no sound emerged. A millennium of silence and solitude had caused the tree to forget certain things, but rather than be upset, it greeted the development with good cheer. Focusing all of its power on the riddle of speech, the tree formed a kind of makeshift vocal cord and tried again. Ahem, I implore. It spat out a glimmering green jewel. One more time. I implore you. There we are. What was the color of the lost envy? It was blue. It spoke. The shade has intelligence and emotion. Who cares? NieR brushed Weiss's comment aside as his sword sliced through the shade's right arm. The shade extended its remaining arm to NieR. I must touch him. I must make contact. The moment its fingers brushed against NieR, the tree felt a warm sensation begin to burn. Something hot coursed through its fingers, up its arm, and out to its entire body. It was emotion, more than the entity had felt in centuries. The tree cried out in surprise and joy. 1,000 years alone. 1,000 years in quiet contemplation. The tree felt like it was going to break apart. For long centuries the tree had been alone, its heart sealed with heavy chains, but no more. New, powerful emotions began to take hold, causing its heart to lighten. This was more than the simple emotions it had been designed to feel. It was the beginning of a soul. And the young man was the key. This was the promise made long ago. This was how it would be released. The tree's stomach began to throb in pain, a new and unpleasant sensation. But the time was not yet right. I implore you, how many were lost by the warrior who fought the red-eyed beasts? Her daughter and 33 friends. Okay, riddle time is over. I'm gonna kill this stupid shade once and for all. Something round and shiny fell from the open stomach and clattered to the floor. The key, cried the book. Secure the key. The man's sword slowed. Time began to dilate around them, stretching and slowing. Time is essential. The next word must be heard. The words exploded. It became difficult to discern their meaning. The pool of memories began to crack as infinite blackness burrowed its way into the wall. Vice. This world is falling apart. NieR, how can a world of letters... I implore. Most important thing. World. I don't think it really matters, but... yo. The light was complete. The memories disappeared. The tree's identity began to dissolve. As the letters slowly faded, NieR was drawn back to the real world, and the tree was satisfied.
What in the... I never realized shades were capable of rational thought.
I don't care if they can tap dance and play the fiddle. I just want to kill him without all this hassle.
With the tree defeated, we no longer have to worry about being buried in its world of letters. Unless, of course, time itself begins to rewind.
Obtain a fragment. The memory tree key fragment. Whew. Alright.
The key to the Shadow Lord's castle? You're talking crazy talk. Anyway, enough of your madness. Let's talk about my story.
Even though she doesn't really tell us anything. But yeah, so we kind of get to see NieR's, I guess, perspective of the Shades. And one of the things you'll notice is he has a very bloodthirsty sort of attitude towards the Shade, and for good reason. You know, and I'm not saying he's wrong given his situation, but he does relate to another character that kind of had the same mindset.
Unusual activity here? I don't think so, but I do have an incredible story for you. Want to hear it?
Yeah, sure. I just listened for the sake of it. I think it's funny. But anyways, if anybody's ever played Drakengard, then Kaim was often said to be absolutely like murderous. Like he reveled in murder and bloodshed. It's not that NieR revels in murder and bloodshed, but definitely he's a person of vengeance.
Let's see if the Junkheap kid sent us a letter.
So that's kind of what is going on here. So, but a lot of people often compare him to Kaim, just because of how murderous he is. Because here's the thing, we're starting to learn that Shades are more than just these, I guess these, I don't even know how to put it, primitive, like, monsters, right? They're not just unthinking beasts, right? They obviously have different shapes, they obviously have different strategies, they've learned to wear armor, like, Shades are becoming highly advanced. And due to this, you know, they're getting harder and harder to kill. Now we're also learning that on top of learning how to utilize armor, like humans would do, they also have the ability of speech, and they also have the ability to have rational thought, which means that their actions, right, their actions in trying to murder humans isn't instinctual, it is intentional. Rational thought means that they have the ability to kind of discern what's right and what's wrong. It doesn't, I mean, yes and no, I guess. People will often argue that you can't discern right and wrong unless you have a sense of morality. I'm not going to get into that whole business, but rational thought means that you're able to think things through as you're doing them, And obviously you can go, okay, I'm murdering people that aren't doing anything to me, or I'm murdering this man coming down the road who might not see me. And here's the thing, we don't know what the Shades are doing with people. It is theorized that they're devouring people, but no one's ever seen a Shade eat a person. Not really. We've seen people get dismembered by Shades. Well, I mean, like, as in, we've heard of people getting dismembered by Shades, but we've not heard of people eating them, or not heard of Shades eating them, per se. And when we do, it's just a theory of what's happening. So it's one of those things where it's really interesting. So the Shades are capable of rational thought to an extent. If they are given the right tools to do so, they have the ability of speech. It seems like the memories that the Shade was eating from the tree was the reason it was given speech. And then you gotta think of the tree itself. Why was the tree storing memories of humankind? And the stories that it was telling, so I don't know if you picked it up, but the first story could be any time, okay? The first story could have been from any time period. It said that the child was kind of overcome with this black illness, which kind of implies the Black Scrawl. So that's more of like a modern, you know, sort of thing. But we don't know if they have, like, quote-unquote doctors in this universe, so it's really hard to say. But the second story is actually specific to a time in near human history, where humans were fighting what was known as Legion. And this is what I was kind of thinking about. So, in NieR Reincarnation, there's this character named Hina and Yuzuki. And they are brother and sister. They are the main characters in Sun and Moon. Their EX stories were huge, for the main reason that in their EX stories it showed their past life, or I mean their future life, or whatever. It showed a version of their life where they were involved in the war against Legion. So, in NieR history, essentially after the Queen Beast fell on the world, what ended up happening was, after the Queen Beast fell, humans began to suffer a sickness called white chlorination syndrome. And because of white chlorination syndrome, what it would do was people would kind of be given a choice. They would hear this strange voice in their head that would say, "Join me or die." And, you know, people wanting to live would obviously say, "Okay, I'll join you." And if a person chose to join the Legion, they would become a creature that had pale skin and red eyes. If they chose not to join Legion, then what would happen is they would turn into a pillar of salt and basically just die on the spot. And thus the salt would then continue to disperse and would essentially infect somebody else. And it was this widespread plague that was essentially the biggest threat to humanity because no one knew how to stop it. Well, humans, after thinking that they had contained white chlorination syndrome, at least for the most part, their biggest thing was fighting against Legion. These creatures were supernatural, and they were extremely strong. And so what they found was not only did the Queen Beast bring with her this disease, but there was something else that had fallen from the sky, which provided something else to humans. Magic. And magic was, in this chemical, like this element, there we go, that's the word. Magic was contained in this element that was dubbed Meso. So, humans discovered Meso. And they were like, okay, if we could figure out how to utilize Meso, then we can stop Legion. Because Legion is too powerful for regular human means. Like, Legion cannot be stopped by guns, it cannot be stopped by normal human weaponry, okay? So they start utilizing meso, and they start infusing people with meso. The only issue with that is that they find that humans infused with meso don't last very long. I should say adults infused with meso do not last very long. Their bodies can't really adapt to it. There's stuff that goes wrong. It's just a bad deal all around. So, but they find that if they infuse children with meso, that the results are a lot better. And so they kind of create a child army to stop Legion. Now, I'm not going to go any further than that, but the second story, that's what it was about. It was about a woman fighting Legion. And so Hina's EX story, I had thought maybe for a second that the tree was referring to Hina. But the thing is Hina doesn't have a daughter. So I thought the story might be about her. It's not about her. However, I will go ahead and probably, like, I don't know, maybe link the video or something, or at least go check it out. If you want to learn more about Legion, check out Hina's EX story and Yuzuki's EX story, and I'll link them somewhere on here so you can click on those and you can check them out for yourself if you're interested in learning more about Legion, because we haven't really seen a lot about it. But anyways, that's all I have for this one, so leave a like if you like the series and if you want to see more. If you want to talk about Legion and what you'd like to see, like basically the missing pieces in NieR history that we've not seen, like game-wise, you know, just let me know what you'd like to see in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for your continued support, and as always, I will see you all in the next video. Alright, ciao you guys.